Guess I'll deliver the soup while I'm here. Alright, here's the soup.
Seconds after you carefully load the spicy firefly soup into the pneumatic tube container, you hear a soft, faint click from far above. Apparently, your benefactor's desire for the nostalgia-inducing soup was no exaggeration, and he or she waited, finger on the conveyance button, for your return. After an hour or so of waiting, you hear a loud whoosh of air indicating a return message. It would appear your soup made the journey intact.
That's some pneumatic tube system. Ah, okay. Definitely some good payment. Ooh, a gear for an elevator? Interesting. Let's see what they say.
Die Gestalt. And when I had thought the war and the waste had stripped all kindness from this world, there appears a stranger performing a service for another without promise of compensation. No mention of down payment or caps exchanging hands or even expectations of recognition. My hat is truly off to you, wanderer. I am not sure if the tears welling in my eyes are due to the soup or the realization that some still journey with something other than greed in their hearts. I took the bowl back to my table, careful to hold my breath. I didn't want the smell to awaken a memory before I was ready, potentially spilling the precious broth before I had time to prepare myself. As when I was a child, I closed my eyes, breathed deep, spoon grasped in my tiny hand, listening to the voice of my father. It was as if I was 12 again, with one breath, with one deep breath. Today, son, I hunted for you. I killed for you. For you to live, another has died. I tried not to cry. I did not want anyone to die for me. But I was hungry. So hungry. Eat. Remember to make the life I took for you meaningful. Never shame me into wishing I had let you go hungry and spared the other. I did not understand, but I ate. I hated him then, but now I think he was trying to teach me something of balance. How there is no give without take, how every action has a consequence, how every night with a full belly is at a mortal expense of another. A brutal lesson to learn at such an age. For every lecture, for every terrible shaming, there was time spent on his strong shoulders, laughing into the sun, dancing in the desert. My daddy, the hunter, the killer, hunched over the fire, dancing, ridiculous, goose-stepping, laughing as if to drown out the moon, laughing and dancing, with his little boy on his shoulders, his little boy grasping at ash from the flames and shrieking in delight. You have done me a great service, wanderer. I was afraid these memories had long eroded, forever inaccessible, and here they are again, awoken and cast back into the light by the smell of soup, my father's soup. Look at me doddering on and on. You must feel more like a nursemaid than a resolution specialist at the moment, listening to me ramble. Such patience deserves a bonus. In addition to your standard compensation, I will send a few gourmet creations and ingredients to assist you in pursuit of your own culinary development. As much as I have encroached upon your valuable time, I fear I must beg your services once more. I would have invited you to my residence for a personal introduction, but it seems that my elevator is suffering mechanical difficulties. I have determined the issue to be a pair of stripped gears, which prevents the platform from tracking its rails properly. I have one replacement gear, but two are necessary for it to become functional. I have sent the single functional gear to you so that you might find its match. Sadly, I do not remember its model number. You will have to make a close visual comparison to procure the appropriate part. In regards to finding a location that might have such a gear, I would suggest visiting Old Lady Gibson's scrapyard. I believe I saw a machine there that may have the necessary gear. Once you acquire it, place both gears in the safe and I can finish the repairs. Best of luck, M. Higginbottom.
Oh, I'm so glad he loved the soup and that it made him remember his father. His dad doesn't sound great. You don't have to eat meat all the time, but I guess sometimes there is a tough decision. It is survival out here a lot of the time.
sources say Quiet Man knows more than he says about horns.
Just gonna walk past. Here's the scrapyard. Said Gibson might have something? Oh, maybe it's that glowing machine. Gear lizard. Ugh, hurts my eyes. I'm gonna wait. Alright, that's better.
Welcome to Gear Lizard, your #1 source for gears. Please enter a genuine Gear Lizard token to continue.
A gear vending machine. Wow.
Gear Lizard, all rights reserved. Power level, 20%, low normal. Inventory, below margin, submit restock order. Token receptacle. Available space, sufficient. Notice to service personnel. Attention service personnel. There have been numerous reports of counterfeit Gear Lizard tokens in circulation. While they are easy to spot with the naked eye, our Gear Lizard machines do not currently possess the capability to detect the difference between genuine Gear Lizard tokens and counterfeit tokens. Unfortunately, the counterfeit process is easy to do, and we're concerned about word of mouth contributing to losses. Currently, our engineers believe the procedure involves flattening a standard Nuka-Cola bottle cap with a hammer, and then applying a line of paint to the edges of the coin. After that, a fork is used to dimple the metal in a pattern along the outside edge. Needless to say, this is a top priority, and we're currently working on a change to the token slot to reject the counterfeit tokens. If you recover any counterfeit tokens from the receptacle, make sure to create a new entry reflecting the presence of counterfeit tokens in your service area. Management.
Alright, well, I need a cap, a hammer, paint, and a fork. Okay, there's a hammer. Ooh, paint gun. Think I need that. Alright, think I got everything. Alright, let me make the token, and that should work. Alright, put the token in.
How to enter your gear model. In the event that you're unsure of your gear model, you can use our handy guides and diagrams to determine your model number. Model numbers consist of 3 characters and are entered in the following order. 1. Gear tooth style. 2. Gear tooth count. 3. Gear weight.
I'll have to take a look at the gear he gave me and try to match it. Okay, it weighs 2.6. It has 5 lines from the center. And it has 10 teeth. Okay. Okay. M. They look like M.
Determine the number of teeth on your gear for help in identifying your model number. 8 teeth K, 10 N, 12 P, 14 R, 16 X, 18 Q, 20 G.
Okay, so it's M and then N for 10 teeth, and then weight.
Determine the weight of your gear for help in identifying your model number. 2 pounds W, 2.1 B, 2.4 A, 2.6 R, 2.8 Q, 2.9 C, 3.2 X.
Okay, it's 2.6, so it's R, M, N, R.
Thank you for your business. Your gear has been dispensed. Have a great day, and thanks for using Gear Lizard.
Okay, I got a second gear. It worked. Hey, Max. Where are you? There you are.
What's up?
I can't believe you just kicked me out of your place earlier.
Really now? I didn't kick you out. We just had to, do some stuff. Sorry if I offended you.
Well, what was so important?
Well, if you must know, I had to throw up. Yeah, I get some bad migraines sometimes. Probably because of the surgical block thing. That's all there is to it. Not something I'm happy to share, but you asked.
Aw, I'm sorry. I'll forgive you. It just hurt my feelings.
Sorry.
It's okay. Are you sure I can keep this plush toy?
Mr. Pokalope? Yeah, sure. You can always sell him if you don't want it, I guess.
No, I'm gonna keep him forever. How can you repair stuff with your eye condition, I mean?
Of course I can. It isn't a perfect job, yeah, but I'm not at a complete loss. I can still see, There is something we could do about it, though, if you'd like to help. I know of an ocular implant you could bring me. With it, I would be able to repair anything to 100% condition. How about it? I could even give you the caps to pay for it.
Well, I'd be happy to help. They do call me courier, after all.
Cool, here you go then. I got a friend at the New Vegas Medical Clinic who's been working on the implant that could help me. Good luck.
Alright, I'll let you know when I get it. Oh, what? Wait, what happened? Wasn't your pet rock here? There's a note.
I have your rock. If you want it back, come to my camp north of Gibson Scrapyard. Bring caps. Here's your rock in a cage.
What the fuck? Who took your pet rock? Was it one of your customers? I guess I'll go get it back for you. Max. Max, bullying is missing. We need to get to the bottom of this mystery. I'm on the case.
Look, I'm kinda busy here. Can we do this later?
Fine, we'll talk later.
Gotcha.
I don't care what he says. I'm gonna go rescue him. They said north of Gibson's scrapyard. Let's see if I can find that camp. Oh, is that it? Hey.
Well, look who it is. So how about it? You do have the caps, right?
Why would you steal someone's pet rock? Like, seriously.
I decided to stop scrounging for caps and start making a difference. Now are you gonna hand over your caps, or am I gonna shoot you and take them anyway?
There's so many better ways you could be making money, dude. Fine, whatever. I'll give you 50 caps for Booline's freedom. Here you go.
Wow, I didn't think it would be this easy. I got plans. Big plans. Just think of it. A new life. I should have done this years ago. Later, chump.
Yeah, fuck off. I know you live in a bad spot. Good luck. Maybe you can move up to stealing boulders. You gotta go easy on people when they're desperate. Alright, gotta put him back in his little pillow.
You place Bullion back in its rightful spot. All is good in the world.
There you go, little buddy. Good Bullion. Max.
Hello there.
Don't know if you noticed, but someone kidnapped Bullion. I got it back for you.
Thanks then, I guess.
What, you didn't even notice? Come on. I know it's just a rock, but you should at least be upset someone stole something from you. I guess we'll talk later.
Alright.
Bye. I'll let you know when I get to that doctor. Alright, come on. We gotta turn some stuff back in Novak, and I think some of you can stay behind there. I don't need all of you with me. You're quite a crowd. Uh-oh. It's Vipers again? Oh, okay. Everything seems good. Oh, so there was a fight. I just missed it. Alright. Back to the bungalow. Alright. Veronica, Boone, you can stay with me. Everyone else stay here. Russell, don't worry, we'll get to your bounty, but I've got some of my own and about 100 other things to get to first. And Eddie, you're just annoying. Sorry.
Okay, boss. I'll just wait here, alone, while my heavily armed companion goes out of earshot. I'm sure nothing will happen.
Raoul, you are surrounded by a bunch of armed people in here, okay? I think you'll be fine.
Fine.
You wait here, be a good boy. Maybe you could play with JT.
Skynet will remain alert and use excess cycles to transmit data to Skynet.
You have fun with that. Alright, gotta get that transmitter to Alex. Hello.
Hello.
Here's that transmitter you wanted from Helios 1.
Thank you. Now I can just put it in, and there we go. My robot is now 15% more efficient. Here's your reward.
15%, that is all? Well, glad to hear I could help.
I know it seemed like a dumb request, but I couldn't conduct my experiments without a protractron fast enough to follow me around. Thank you.
They are quite slow, usually. Bye. Good luck.
Move along, please.
Alright, and I have that gear to fix the elevator, so I'll go do that. Oh, wait, there was that woman that wanted all that food delivered. I think I have it all on me, so I'll just go talk to her. It's not hard to find meat in sarsaparilla. Hello.
You? Why are you here? What do you want now?
I'm your courier, remember? I brought you the supplies.
Are you kidding me? The courier came just a little while ago with my supplies. What the hell do you want? Are you a thief? A raider? A beggar, maybe? You chose the wrong house. I'm not going to give you anything. Go away!
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hello?
What a bitch. I guess that was a waste of time. Alright. Now I gotta get that gear.
You load the gears, one rusty, one not, into the safe. A few minutes later, the vacuum system activates, conveying the contents to your mysterious employer. Approximately an hour later, a familiar thunk is heard. It looks like something has arrived in the safe.
Okay. Oh, yep. There's payment and a note.
Would you kindly? I knew before I opened the safe that you delivered the gears. I suppose I realized when I first heard your boots crunching on the sand that you'd be the one to deliver me from the tribulations that ailed me. It will take a spot of time to repair the elevator, so I implore you to return tomorrow to give me time to finish the job. I will humbly ask to fall on your kindness once more, as a final task remains. When you return, step onto the elevator. If my repairs have been successful, the lift should carry you to my front door. You've served me with only a vacuum tube for the face of your employer so far. I believe this final task should be done in person. It's only fitting after all you've done for me. Looking forward to tomorrow. Morrison.
Oh, I thought he'd get it working right away, but I guess I can wait till tomorrow. Let's just sleep it off. Alright, let's just go sleep for the night.
I could use some coffee.
Well, go get some. The kitchen's right there, Willow. Alright, let's go check on our employer. Elevator should be fixed. One, two, three. Don't think any more of the Brahmin have been killed. Hello? Another one of you guys. Nothing in the safe. I guess I'll just try the elevator. Oh, it worked! Well, come on. Let's go meet him. It is a great view up here. He wasn't lying. Well, the guy has good taste. Hello?
No touching. This means you, Harriet. Daddy means it.
Wait, he has a daughter? Who's Harriet? Hello? Oh, that must be her teddy bear. Where is he? Gotta be someone around here. Hello? Interesting pictures. Oh no! Oh, what happened? What happened? And where is his daughter?
Wanderer. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for my current disagreeable condition. I urge you to consult my terminal journal entries for a broader stroke of the brush. That said, I will not linger long on the particulars. The sunset is fast approaching, and I have but a few minutes before the darkness sweeps me out of my mistakes and into the blessed reunion with my family and the purpose. Harriet. That was what I named the purpose, as I had recently read the story of a certain woman bearing the same name in an old, rotted pre-war book I'd found. As with the person in that book, Harriet freed me from a number of my maladies, the foremost of which was indirection. She lifted me up and gave me reason and meaning. Harriet is dead, and I killed her. The darkness is starting to swim for me, Wanderer. Consult my terminal for the details of the unfortunate events that led me to where you have found me. I ask you to bury me next to Harriet. Drag my body to the door and bury me next to her.
That is so fucking sad. Wait, what? Did he kill his daughter? I do not understand what is going on here. I guess I'll have to read the terminal, but... that is some really potent poison. Fucking hell. What could have led into this? Oh, little toy cars and toy boats. I need to turn off the music. This is inappropriate. Oh, there's a note here.
Mr. Costner, first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you on your dedication to restoring a system of mail delivery for the occupants of Novak. It's commendable that you seek to resurrect an important facet of pre-war society. I hope you'll accept my apology regarding the inconvenience you've suffered by having to travel up my elevator and deliver correspondence and packages to my mailbox. I was unaware of the depths of your agitation over the additional time commitment imposed by my abode's unique location. Through conversation with other Novak residents, I discovered what I believe to be the turning point that caused you to transform from begrudging acceptance to outright revolt. Many informed that you tripped and fallen from my elevator on the way down, bruising your leg badly and spraining an ankle. While I express deepest regret for your injury, I must inform you that your retaliation against my mailbox seemed a touch excessive. Filling another chap's mailbox with Brahmin dung, while bellowing obscenities and striking it vigorously and repeatedly with a baseball bat, presents a bit of a barrier to communicative reparation. Regardless, out of respect for your injury and a desire for peaceful reconciliation, I've repaired the vacuum tube delivery system that the previous owner must have installed. No longer will you need to make the arduous journey on the elevator to deliver my special packages that find their way to Novak from various traders and merchants. Simply place my deliveries in the lower safe, and they'll whisk their way to me merrily without any further intervention on your behalf. Sincerely, M. Higginbottom.
Okay, that's kind of funny, though. I agree that filling someone's mailbox with Brahmin shit is definitely a barrier to communication. There should be a terminal somewhere. Wait, this is just a bathroom. Interesting toilet paper, though. Is the terminal down here somewhere? There's the kitchen. Oh, there's 4 plates at the table.
You can't help but notice this clean, well-maintained oven. Mr. Higginbottom certainly had a penchant for fine cooking. You imagine you could use it to make any recipes you normally prepare hunched over some filthy boards balanced on cinder blocks.
Oh, nice oven. Oh, there we go. That must be the terminal.
Daddy shows geckos who's boss. Pow!
Oh my god, that is so cute. I'll circle back to the terminal in a bit. Oh, that must be her bed. Oh, this must be his food stores. Certainly has better stuff than a lot of people. Where is that radio? Oh, there's a little oh, the drawing! It's so cute!
Harriet and I ran into an interesting fellow on our way to town today. He introduced himself as No Bark, a famous sketch artist. He told us that he designed the two-headed bear for the NCR flag. He offered to sketch our portrait for 3 bottle caps and all of the lint from our pockets. That seemed a fair, if unusual, deal, so I obliged. Looking at the finished product, I questioned the veracity of his claims, but Harriet was delighted, so I merely thanked him and we headed on into town. Upon reflection, I must profess a fondness for it as well. So in my study it hangs.
Oh, it was No Bark that made it. You know what? It's still cute. Oh, poor little girl. I wonder what happened. I can't believe that he killed her on any purposeful way or whatever, so it must have been an accident. Oh, this is her play corner. Look at all her toys and her little fort. Oh my god. So cute.
Bitsy the bloatfly says hi. Hi, hi.
Oh, poor little girl.
I can fly like Super Daddy.
Oh my god, this little girl breaking my heart. Oh. It's so sad. She made a little pillow fort with chairs. Oh fuck, I need a key to get in that room. Is there one out here somewhere? There's water. Oh no! You know what? I'm gonna bring a toy out here and put it on her grave for her in a sec. Okay. I'll take that one. That one I think is special. Here. There's your little Action 8 figure. There you go, Harriet. That's the terminal he was probably talking about.
M. Higginbottom, Journal. Leaving Nipton. My life has found purpose. That purpose was fulfilled in the unlikely form of an infant discovered during my travels. The purpose arrived 3 days after I'd left Nipton. That place began to settle its sickly fingers into me, and I found myself stumbling against a slippery path that I thought I'd left behind since the checkered path of my youth. I was old enough to realize that I was in the mouth of the spiral, a few stumbling steps away from traveling the road of my mother, falling from strength and virtue into a sad decay of drunkenness and regret. I would not finish my walk on this earth as she, picked from a doorway and buried in filthy clothes in an unmarked grave. I would not. She was great once, and with the death of my father, she became unhinged, and nothing I could say or do could open the door between us again. She blamed me for his death, though she never said as such until the drink ate away enough of her brain to release the demons that had nested there for years. I do not hate her. Even after she drove me from the house in a drunken rage, I could not bear to hate her. Perhaps it was the undying love my father felt for her. Perhaps it was only that she was my last remaining link to any semblance of family. The next morning I snuck back into the house, gathering up my belongings and leaving. I left a note next to her, which read only, "I forgive you." I could think of nothing else to write. It is probably that final note which prevented me from losing my tether on reality upon learning of her passing. Not 3 days after I left the house, I intended to stay away for a week or so and then return home to see if her rage had subsided. I returned to the house of my birth to find it had been taken over by several of my neighbors. After having a gun barrel shoved into my face, I was told that the day after I left, my mother had wandered the streets, calling my name in a drunken haze until passing out in a neighbor's doorway. She never awoke. The day after she was buried, others moved into my house. Any claim I had was forfeit since I had abandoned her. Or perhaps forfeit because I was only a terrified 13-year-old boy with no weapons, and others wanted what was rightfully mine. Oh, Wanderer, I apologize. You've come here for information, and you've once again endured an old man's ramblings. The purpose. I need to tell you of the purpose. Another entry will suffice. Until then, Morrison.
Wow, Nipton was even more fucked up than I realized. And he must have wrote this expecting me to come up here. Must have had this prepared for me. Did he have no friends?
To this day, I need to talk of the purpose. Leaving Nipton behind, I set my sights on the proverbial greener pastures, a small city going by the unusual name of Novak. The traveling was hot and fraught with danger. I'll allow myself a smile here. I've always hoped to have the opportunity to use such a phrase in the context bereft of irony. With clashes with raiders and greedy settlers, alike doing much to remind me that the core of humanity's goodness must have been burned out like a moth in a flame when the bombs fell all those years ago. At least that's what I told myself. Surely the world wasn't filled with greedy, vicious, violent people before the Great War. Was it? I suppose the designation of violent is not fair. All of us must internalize a bit of violence merely to survive. That was the logic my father taught me, and he made sure that I did not forget it. He was a violent man, but not a vicious one. He killed other men, and did so without remorse as far as my young eyes could tell. But never did he prolong the killing. Never did I witness him taking enjoyment from the act. If he judged someone to have overstayed his welcome, the phrase he always used, it still chills me to this day to hear it, as I immediately associate it with having to help bury someone. Things were over quickly. In fact, the only times I saw him show any kind of reaction to killing was when he killed animals for the food for our table. I asked him about the look on his face once, just after he shot a skinny Brahmin we found wandering near our house. "Daddy, why do you look so sad? You never look sad when you shoot somebody trying to get into our house." I still remember the way he looked at me. "Because they had a choice." That's all he said. The way he turned away let me know that he wouldn't say another word. Because they had a choice. I did not understand it then, but now it has become my mantra. It has guided me in my decisions over the years. The choice led to the purpose, for the purpose had no choice, and thus was my choice made.
The animals didn't have a choice, like a child might not have a choice.
Because they had a choice. The purpose had no choice. I walked from Nipton. I left that place. All I possessed in this world was on my back, and all that was farther behind me than my pack I never wished to see again. I traveled from Nipton toward Novak, sometimes hiding, sometimes killing, and sometimes, if the heat was tolerable and the roads were friendly, engaging others in conversation and trade. I hold those days dear, those few hours of conversation with others coming or going. I never felt judgment, preconceived notions, as if a notion could be anything but preconceived, from these people of the road. I was assessed solely for my threat capacity, and, if I passed whatever individual criteria they entertained, the veil dropped and we could converse as equals. It saddens me to think on some of the pre-war texts I've read, apparently people were frequently judged by the color of their skin, and not the content of their character. Perhaps that's at least one feather in the cap of this ravaged world. Too few remain of any particular color, meaning judgment solely on such factors is obsolete, or at the very least unwise.
Unwise, yes, but it still happens.
Unwise. The caretakers of the purpose were unwise, or, upon reflection, unlucky. A day from Novak, and the purpose is laid bare. A fire was burning, several hundred feet from the road. Such things are by no means uncommon, but something about the smoke caught my attention. I was drawn to it. It may have been the way the wind played with the wisp, or the particular note of the crackling embers. Whatever the case, I was drawn to it. A massacre. A massacre bore by the purpose on its ash. A family, killed by unknown assailants, their bodies already in the first stages of decay. The assailants, having obviously underestimated the tenacity of their victims, also lay dead. 7 combatants in all, their bodies and wounds a grisly testimony to the events that transpired. With grim fascination, I wandered the scene. There was the father, 7 bullet wounds, multiple lacerations, a shotgun with a splintered stock still clasped in his hands. 2 men with shattered skulls within arm's reach. The shotgun's ammunition spent, the man must have charged his aggressors, shattering their skulls with his gun and ending their lives in the process. One look at the shotgun's reinforced stock sent a shudder through me. This was a man driven to the bare edges of desperation. To splinter a weapon against a man's skull in such a fashion, those unfortunates must have felt as if an avenging angel was upon them in the scant moments before they shuffled off their mortal coils. The raw fury of the man was but a footnote to the condition of the mother's corpse I found. Though life in the desert has hardened me to sights of severe distress, I fell to my hands and knees and shook and shook. 3 lay dead around her, 2 with lacerations that went into the bone, and the mother's decaying fingers lay embedded to the pulped eye sockets of the 3rd. Firmly latched around the bone of the ocular cavity, dragging her assailant face to face for terrible judgment even as the blood drained from her. In death, a testament to the undying, unyielding, terrifying wrath of a mother protecting her child. You will not take my child.
I think Catherine would have protected me like that had she lived.
And they did not. It was then that I heard a hoarse cry from the purpose, and from the back of the dusty tent I retrieved the purpose, the hungry, thirsty, and scared purpose. Brave mother, they did not take your child. Brave father, they did not take your child. I will take your child, and she will be my purpose. You have not died in vain.
I think this story shows both the worst and best in humanity. He took care of the child because they protected her till their last and couldn't.
Harriet's house. Harriet's house has a comforting ring for me. Though I suppose it is technically my house, I think of it as hers. She knows every creaky board, every cabinet that I forget to check when we're playing hide and seek, and every window that serves well in making shadow puppets dance across the floorboards. The scenario that brought this residence into my possession was one of simple providence, Lady Luck deciding to take pity on an old man in his charge. Arriving in Novak, I learned of a house on the cliff that many had tried to reach and failed. Some had tried to shimmy up the lift post to no avail. The metal, though worn with age, was too smooth for a good grip. Others had tried climbing the rock, but the cliff face was unpredictable enough to discourage even the bravest of rock climbers. In fact, I learned with considerable sadness that 2 young men had fallen to their deaths in the attempt. After the second death, everyone abandoned the idea of traversing the cliff. The town had a standing challenge. The first one to make it up to the house owned it. Finders keepers. Humility has always been my stock in trade, but I could not help feel regret for the lack of education in this small town. Many nights I wept growing up as my father dropped a book at my feet instead of dinner. Read, he would say, and I would not get dinner until I could give him an accurate account of the book. Some nights I went hungry, but more often than not, I passed his tests and earned my supper. Each night a book, each night a challenge. Sometimes it was nothing more than a romance novel, or a book on the history of a country that died long before the war. Sometimes, though, it was a work on repair of broken equipment, electronics, a work filled with computers and electronics and machines. Not one of the locals had tried to fix the elevator. A blown solenoid, a corroded battery terminal, a severed wire, a misaligned gear. It was an elementary procedure. Within 3 hours, the lift was working, and I rose on that glorious rusted conveyance to my new home, to our new home. I remember them cheering, the locals. The sight of the lift working filled them with such primal joy that I am not ashamed to say that I doffed my hat, tears in my eyes, and bowed and played the ham for the audience as the lift rose. I danced as my daddy danced, and the locals yelled with delight. And when I was at the top, I was the king of the world, and I flung my hat and spread my arms wide. Looking back on that day, I wonder what made them cheer so. Was it the sight of pre-war technology being brought back to life, rekindling an image of all things before? Was it the simple triumph of man over machine? Was it just an old man dancing like a loon in the broad day sun? I do not know, but I danced the fool that day. Sweating buckets in the hot Nevada sun, goose-stepping around in my suit and hat, putting on my own little show at the top, and Harriet below, screaming with delight in Mrs. McBride's arms, dancing too. The house was mine and Harriet's. From that day forth, with no further questions. I fell asleep that night in the new house with Harriet on my chest, full of love for the world, knowing that all that was good was not yet dead.
That's a beautiful story. I think what his dad did was supposed to be for his own good, but you don't withhold food for someone's own good.
With clear eyes, I do not know if I should share Harriet's origins with her. Would it do her justice to let her know of her parents' butchering and my subsequent arrival to take her from the scene of the massacre? Many times I have pondered it. I am daddy to her, as she has never asked where mommy is. Then again, with no children in Novak, I suppose it's possible nobody has asked about her mommy. When I look at her, I see such innocence, such wonderful naivety to the cruel ways of the world. I want to shield her from it, as long as I can, yet doing so risks stunting her growth and making her less capable of dealing with others. What to do? Not once has she asked why my skin is black and her skin is white. Not once has she questioned that I am her father. I am simply daddy. And never has she asked why we look so different. Maybe she assumes that one gets darker as one ages, or it's the sun that darkens the skin, or, as I suspect, it probably simply doesn't matter to her. Daddy is daddy. She is Harriet. And that's that.
It doesn't matter. That is that. She has a daddy, and that's all she needed.
From a great height. Every night I told Harriet a new story. Every night I made a new adventure, a new tale. The stories were short, meant to entertain a young mind in those blissful few minutes between thinking and sleep. When the laughs come easily, and being tucked in with strong hands into a bed with a chilly pillow, a warm blanket, and a tickle to the toes is nothing short of heaven. One night, tired, scorched, disheartened from a disheartening day dealing with apathetic locals, vicious geckos, and fouled water, I told Harriet of Super Daddy, a fanciful figure who could fly and fight evil, if only he could leap from a car. From a car or bus, he had to leap from some small height and have his feet connect with metal to gain the power of flight. From there, Super Daddy could fly, and fight crime and make everything better. I was tired when I told the tale. Harriet was so intelligent that sometimes I forgot she was just a child. Just a child. If there could be a Super Daddy, why couldn't there be a Super Harriet? And so she leapt the next day in a moment of my neglect, as my back was turned just from the hood of the ruined car in front of the house. But it was far enough. If not for the power pylon, she probably would have just hit the sand, maybe been bruised a bit. She did not hit the sand. Her head hit the concrete base of the pylon, and she died. She died. If I hadn't made up the story of Super, she never would have. I scrubbed for days, trying to remove the bloodstain from the concrete. It never came out. Although in a moment of clarity, I wonder if the stain was actually there to ever begin with. The car was easily removed. A few caps to the McBrides, and they agreed to let me hitch up a few Brahmin to the wrecked car and tow it out of sight. That ghost I was able to exorcise myself. I'm afraid she will not be at rest while that pylon stands. I will find a way to bring it down, or find someone who can.
It wasn't his fault. It was just an unfortunate series of events. You know, I'll go bury him next to her. I wish you had told me. I wish you had just told me. Maybe I could have eased your guilt even if you still chose to die. He must have buried this box here. There's just enough room for me to bury him. They could be together. He must have buried the key. I should see what he left in here. Oh, sent from an old restaurant. He really did like cooking food. A copy of the Wasteland Survival Guide. Oh. He wrote his memoirs.
This book appears to be Mr. Higginbottom's unfinished memoirs. He mainly focuses on his affinity for cooking and on the various dishes and ingredients he's discovered. Perk obtained gourmand. A small card falls from the book as you continue flipping the pages. It simply reads, "Thank you." The chef's final words mark the end of his chapter, and thus his tale.
I'll keep these. Maybe someday I could publish them. He would love there to be a recipe book with his name on it out there.
It appears that Mr. Higginbottom installed a convenient water purifier in his home. It can purify dirty water, yielding 1 bottle of purified water per 2 bottles of dirty water.
That's cool. He was a really good engineer, I guess, along with everything else.
Now that Mr. Higginbottom has been put to rest, his house needs a name. As you used a shovel and sweat to bury him, the task falls to you.
He would want it to be named Harriet's house. That's what he would want. I think all the locals will think of this as Harriet's house. They should remember her. Come on, we gotta get going.